me, being an educational psychologist is a huge privilege. It's getting to be the voice for a child and being able to play a small part in collaborating with all the key adults around that child to give them the best experience possible, really, in terms of their education and in their general development.
Every day is completely different. I very much go into schools to see how the children are coping, what support needs they require. I work with schools also to find out what specialist equipment they might need, or whether it's human resources such as special needs learning support assistants or SNLSAs, and every day is different. I might be supporting and observing in a nursery one day, and then in a strategic meeting with professionals from lots of different agencies. So I love my role, it's very varied, and by going into the schools and working with families directly and with the other professionals, it really keeps my fingers at the foreground of what's happening in schools.
One of the main things as educational psychologists is that we are needs-led and that we don't diagnose. And the importance of that is that we're working holistically around the child, supporting the family unit, supporting the schools, and really thinking about the strengths as well as the area of needs and what a child needs in school to help with their learning, but also with their well-being. The aim is to support the holistic view of the child, and thinking about what works for that child, including their strengths and things that they enjoy and their interests, as well as the things that they find a little bit tricky and things they find difficult.
For me, the most useful part is gathering pupil perspective. By speaking to schools, parents, and more importantly, the pupil themselves, we can see what it is that they feel would best support them, where they feel sort of that their needs lie. And we can have forms which we send out, conversations with pupils is usually through conversation, gathering sort of pupil perspective, with schools, meetings and conversations, and with parents, usually either through scheduled meetings or forms.
It is our job to learn about young people, what they enjoy doing best, what they really like, what makes them thrive, in order to kind of like really maximize on potential. Psychologists are trained in child development and as well as psychology. So our day-to-day work is working with the parents, working with the teachers, working with anybody around the child, and in fact it is particularly important that we work with the young person. It's very important that we actually get the voice of the young person, the voice of the child. Usually we tend to try and get that directly by actually having like little sessions with the young person, but sometimes it's necessary to actually speak to all the adults around them to find out more about what makes them tick.
So when we talk about having a needs-based approach, it's essentially that we are looking at each child or young person as an individual. We know that a diagnosis can be important to them to understand themselves as they get older. It might be important to a family, for example, but it doesn't necessarily influence what particular strategies may or may not be useful at a school level. So every child is very individual, and a child with the same diagnosis as another child might need a completely different approach. So sometimes we can find that focusing just on a diagnosis can be a little bit constraining in terms of thinking outside the box and creatively, and also if people wait for a diagnosis to happen and then think that the strategies come after, then again that can be quite limiting. We know that sometimes there are waiting times, for example, or there might be stigma or reasons why people don't want to pursue a formal diagnosis. But what we want to make sure is that that never limits what we are providing, and we're still making sure that we're meeting the needs, whatever we're calling those needs, or if we're not calling them anything in particular.